Okay, so let's start. So we go for 1.5. Since we're going between 1.5 to 2% is kosher, so we'll just go for 1.5. So that's for every kilo is 15 grams of salt.
Okay.
So that's easy. Sugar, we want to have 2%, so we'll go for 20 grams per kilo. That's important. You could probably go even 13 grams in a mouthful piece of meat. 13 maybe, you could go 14 to 14. It sounds like not a big difference, but it's a big difference because you're using here almost 2 kilo piece of meat, and on top of that you're going to add another 1 or 2 liters of water, and you have to salt the water at the same ratios because everything needs to be salted. Right? Because the water is not going to be part of the meat, so if you're not going to salt the water, and we usually add for the salt part more. For the water part more salt because the meat is already salted, the water isn't. So I usually add another 5 grams. Very important, nitrite is actually salt. So when you're going to use your pink salt, and so we're discussing 15 grams, which by the way is if you want to measure teaspoons, that's 3 teaspoons.
Yes.
Because 1 teaspoon is 5 grams of salt, right? 1 teaspoon is 5 grams of salt.
So you need 15 grams.
So you need 3. So for a kilo is 3 teaspoons. Now, since you're going to use a half a teaspoon per kilo of pink salt, you gotta reduce that from the amount of salt.
Of the nitrate.
Yeah, because if you're gonna, because it's literal salt. Right. So otherwise you're gonna be having 7.15. You can add another half. You're gonna be at 17, 18, 17 and a half, whatever. So yeah, so we understand that. Nice. Hopefully this isn't too heavy. Measure the meat.
Besides having like an exact scale, is there any reason not to just get nitrite? Is it much more expensive?
You mean pure nitrite?
Yeah.
The danger.
Okay.
Pure nitrite is dangerous.
Okay.
If you lick this, God help your soul, because you're going to meet him. You will meet him. It's because what nitrite does. Okay, since you asked, why to even use nitrite? It's a great question. So nitrite protects the meat against botulism, which will kill you. Right. Now the reason we need it is because once we cure the meat, I'll send you guys a link where you can calculate how long it needs to be in the fridge for. There's a great link I sent to you. Yeah, I sent to you. So there's a great site of some professor in chemical. I don't know if you read some of his stuff. Amazing. Like this guy is a tree of knowledge in this field. Unbelievable. And he made there a few great intuitive graphs. I don't know, whatever. You put in your parameters, and he tells you exactly what you need in teaspoons and water and whatever you say. I want 200 ppm parts per million of nitrite, or 150, or whatever you want. This is the amount of meat I want. This is what it looks like. And then it tells you how many days it needs to be in the fridge, plus minus 20%, how much teaspoons of nitrite to put in, how much water to add, and whatever. Great site. So it's very helpful when you at the beginning, when you're not sure what you're doing. It will help. So the meat will sit in the fridge, let's say, for 2 weeks. Let's say from now till Rosh Hashanah, till Rosh Hashanah. You leave meat in the fridge for 2 weeks, unprotected is not a good idea. Right, so the nitrite comes in very handy. The pure nitrite what does nitrite do? And then we'll understand why it's dangerous. Pure nitrite causes the meat not to oxidize. Right, that's why it keeps that pink, beautiful color because, so if you put that inside your skin and you drink it, whatever, so then your cells won't be able to accept no oxygen, and it will just mess up your whole system. And so obviously I keep it up on top, behind everything. No one can reach it. Even with your regular pink salt, there's no difference. You could just lick it. It's salt, because we're talking about 6% in a regular, maybe 6.2, depending on which company you buy. Nothing will happen if you eat it, but still keep it away in a safe place. Obviously, not a big deal.
So and just because you're using just such a small amount with so many other things.
So I'll weigh the meat first, so I know how much I need to use. But just for the fun of it, I'll show you what's 0.18. Definitely having more than a kilo. I already put too much in. It's already 0.26.
Wow.
Like literal, we're talking about a tiny, tiny amount. So I have here a kilo of nitrite. This is literally a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's such a small. That's why whenever I use this, I throw the bowl and the teaspoon in the garbage every time, and I throw it out. I'm not taking any chances. That's why I'm not recommending to do it this way, unless you're, very careful. I'm not taking any responsibility for this. This is very, you know, so, but if you buy the pink salt, you have no worries, you know, you're fine.
With the pink salt, you would need much more than this.
Yeah, half a teaspoon per kilo. Because it's only 6%, and this is 100%, you know, so it's times 25, I don't know, times 20, times whatever. Times a lot, I don't know, 6 to 100, whatever it is. 5 is 20, so a little bit less than 20. Anyways, we get the idea, right? And it's like you literally gotta...
Put little tiny pieces.
Yeah, like you gotta...
Grains of it.
You gotta do grains. Okay, so we'll start with my piece of meat, and we'll do one at a time, I guess. Actually, we can start with, doesn't matter who we start with. Let's start with yours. You want to make sure you're working very clean so you don't get any bad stuff in the brine.
Do you need to like...
Nitrite doesn't protect against everything. That's what you understand. You could still have bad growth of mold in there because nitrite does not protect against mold. So, I mean, it protects against botulism. Very important, but, you know...
Different other things.
There are other things. I mean, we could use other stuff, you know, but... I mean, I could. You guys can't really get them in the store, so I'm not. So we'll just work clean, and we'll be fine, right? You know, and of course, mold you'll see with your eyes, so we're not worried about that. Okay. I mean, the reason I prefer to have the meat defrosted completely is because you really want the spices in the liquid. I just put that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll throw it out.
Okay.
Go back and stick first.
Because you want to penetrate everywhere. You don't want to have like, if you have the meat folded over, then it will get also bad color. You know, you have like this weird color afterwards. But okay, not a big deal.
We'll get to the tongue obviously in a little bit. I know when you cook tongue, you have to boil it and then peel it and do the whole process.
Yeah.
Is that like, does that layer not get into it easily?
Get into it. So, actually, tongue cures a lot faster for some reason.
Interesting.
I don't know why, but where brisket and other things took me 2-3 weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on the amount of nitrates. I've done tongue in 5 days.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, so that's part of it. And personally, I'm a big fan of pickled tongue. I love it.
It's one of the simanim.
Yontif is coming.
I use one of the simanim. It's like Lashon Hara, once a Shamra.
Oh, really?
Nice, I like that one. Lashon Hara, not bad.
Wow, that's good.
Okay, I mean, I'll take it in the good way because, but okay. But I